Hey Martina, Daphne here. I'm really glad the feedback was helpful on the last essays, and I'm really happy for you to be doing this extra one. I know that you're after a 7.5, which is really hard, so it's just as well to keep practicing. That's great that you want to keep going. So nowadays, green energy is becoming ever more prevalent in both developed and developing countries. What are the reasons for this, and what are some of the problems connected to it? So naturally, this essay splits into one paragraph about what are the reasons, and then another paragraph on what are the problems connected to it. So we need this kind of language of kind of suggestion here, don't we? So green energy is a trend that's spreading worldwide and has a positive impact, probably because it's an environmentally friendly and affordable way of energy. However, this phenomenon may not be economically convenient for some big corporations. Furthermore, this type of energy is not reachable yet for many deprived sectors of society. Okay, really interesting, good intro. So let's just get into this technically. So green energy is a trend that is spreading worldwide and has a positive impact. I kind of want a bit more at the end of that sentence. I would go is benefiting. I'd use it in the present perfect because, present continuous, because we want to suggest this idea of it's a long process, is benefiting not only the planet but many individuals. Individuals. Oh, sorry, can't spell today. There we go. So I think you just want a little bit more there, but not too much. You don't want it to be too long, like we said. And then I think I wouldn't have probably, because that feels like the wrong word there, but go because it is environmentally friendly and more affordable source. Just use source. Source, yeah. Because if you do that, you've already got the idea energy here, so you don't need to repeat energy here. So you would go, green energy is a trend that's spreading worldwide and is benefiting not only the planet but many individuals because it is environmentally friendly and more affordable. Actually, you don't even need source. I just stop there. You don't want that sentence to be too long, and I'm making it a bit long, but I would have it as one strong sentence. However, this may not be economically convenient for some big corporations. Furthermore, this type of energy is not yet. It's more than one type. So I've said these energies or renewables, you can say, renewable energy, is not yet reachable for many deprived sectors of society. Good. This essay we'll discuss. Really nice. Good intro there. It is known that it isn't. Now, this feels like a translation. Be careful. So in English, you'd have to go, it's known that. So after it's known, we go into a that clause, but that's not going to work here. So it's known all the benefits that green energy brings to the environment. So in English, you'd have to go, the benefits that green energy brings to the environment. No, you'd have to go, yeah, I'm going to have to rework this. I want to go with the well-known benefits and bring in this. But benefits green energy brings, since it does not burn fossil fuels that damage the atmosphere because it's renewable and it uses natural elements. Okay. I would almost start this differently. Green energy. No, go this way. Go, the benefits of green energy are widely known. Differentiation from fossil fuel due to being clean and using natural elements is understood. Something like that. I'm sorry, I feel I'm messing up your lovely writing. You just can't start with "it is known." You'd have to start with "the benefits are known," but then you can't go into "since." All right, you could. Maybe I'm being complicated. The benefits that green energy brings are widely known since they do not burn fossil fuel. Okay, the benefits that green energy brings are widely known since they do not burn fossil fuel that damage the atmosphere. Because it's renewable and it uses natural elements. It's still rather a long sentence with a lot of "because it" and "it" all the way through. You've got it. So you've got 3 little sentences going on. What I've tried to do, this isn't perfect, but the benefits of green energy are widely known, and its differentiation from fossil fuels due to being clean and using natural elements is understood. So I'm trying to just make this a bit more concise. Green energy has always been promoted by conservationists across the globe. Good. For example, in the last decade, the use of wind turbines as energy generators have been growing. Wind turbines, plural, have been growing around the world due to their positive results. Good. A further point is that this sustainable energy tends to be inexpensive, well done, as it uses natural resources for fuel. For example, in the US, it's been demonstrated that it could cost 50% less money than traditional electricity. For this reason, a large part of the population is extremely interested in applying this developing and affordable approach in their households. Very nice writing. So in terms of errors, you're not making mistakes, which is fantastic. But can we be adding a little bit more in terms of the structure and the detail? I don't think you need 2 examples in 1 paragraph. For me, it's a little bit too heavy. I definitely stick with 1 example near the end of the paragraph. So I would build on this interesting stuff first before you go into your example. I think it's difficult putting 2 points in here, but you might have to put additionally. So rather than a further point, I would just use additionally. Okay. So here, green energy, and you need to say what they are, such as solar or wind power, because so far you haven't said what they are, have been promoted. Okay. And I wouldn't use that. I don't use those words, but keep the facts, but don't make it an example. Okay. And then you can go into this, and then you can have your example. So lots of facts, lots of interesting development of the point, and then get into the example at the end. Okay, so you're talking about the reasons. So why are people using it? Okay. Be careful, actually, just on the essay where you're going, because you're not asked to talk about benefits. You kind of naturally are. But if I'm really going to be kind of thinking about how I grade this, what are the reasons for it? So you've got here environmentally friendly, more affordable, but you might be better to here, rather than talking about the benefits, is just start this paragraph with reasons. Then it's really clear. The main reason for the exponential growth in green energy is that it doesn't burn fossil fuels. So I'm just going to put in here capital letters reasons, because I think we should really be linking this paragraph back to that. When you do your planning at the beginning, before you start writing, make sure you plan really carefully. Perhaps this innovative adjective way of energy is being rejected by many large companies since it was not as profitable as expected. Interesting. So, but signpost your paragraph. What are some of the problems connected to it? So I'm changing direction. However, it is undeniable that, I wouldn't use perhaps because you're sort of questioning. It's an undeniable that this innovative way of energy is sometimes, not all the time, being rejected by many large companies since it wasn't as profitable. So, as it is less profitable. So keep it slightly shorter. Yeah, so you hear that your essay is long. This is a bit more concise. Likewise, these firms have tried to destroy green energy in order to prevent its spreading and success. Why? Because it's not profitable. Oh. So maybe not, likewise, maybe not as a consequence. So this happens as a result of that. As a consequence, I try to destroy green energy. How could you destroy green energy? What are they doing? You need to be more specific there. Disrupting supply, or what was happening? Nevertheless, most governments, just most governments, you don't need most governments, or many governments, have advocated, watch out on the grammar, the sustainable energy, which has created a rivalry between these two. I go institutions, so the institution of government and the institution of business, or between these two institutions, or between these two powerful forces might be good. One example of this fact was the controversial case in an important chain store, blackmail policymakers in order to return to the classical pollutant electricity, to return to using classical pollutant electricity. Gosh, that's very interesting. Another point, although it is economics. Okay, I think this is a very important point, and I would have a shorter example. So this is a lot of words, this example, whereas I think this is more relevant. What are some of the problems? That's some of the problems. So I know I've said have an example, but I'd almost make that much shorter, or get into this point first and then have your example connected to this. It's not accessible. But why is it not accessible? Is this due to cost? Is this due to geography? Why? I think I'm still asking a lot of questions here. And I think you know what you want to say, but you need to make it really clear to me as a reader what you're trying to say. So make sure that it's very clear, your first topic sentence here, that I know why. Here you're talking about being less profitable. And then I get where you're going here. But why is it less profitable? I need to kind of, what exactly do you mean? They make more money from oil and gas and less from solar? In which case, say it like that. Use those actual words. One of the problems I thought you might talk about is supply. I think that's the obvious one, because if you're putting in solar panels and it's not sunny, then obviously you're going to have an issue. So I think that's quite an important thing to be thinking about as well in all these this sort of essay. So I think you've done well. I think it's definitely better than your last one. I think just be careful of the organisation of the paragraphs. Yeah. So topic sentence, develop it, then have an example. I think a further point coming in after the example doesn't work. You make your point and then do an example at the end. Okay. It couldn't be valuable enough, not worthy enough, valuable enough, of enough worth or valuable enough. Okay. Yes, that's a really depressing thing to be talking about corporate profits when it's something so important, isn't it? Also, this is long. Okay, I'm sorry, this correction's long, but this is long. So try and see what you can do next time in like 350. Try and discipline yourself to that sort of word count. You might find it a bit easier. But thank you, Martina. And yeah, let's keep going. That would be really, really good. Well done.